If you're watching this, then clearly you are a hero, you are a heroine. I mean, we have had a couple of years of COVID-19, got affected, and then as it's somehow ceasing, we now get hit by inflation, a bad economy altogether. So if you're watching this, really, you are a hero. You've survived till this far, and you need a thumbs up. Well, hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and my name is Jillian Osimiri Katumba. It's always a beautiful time sitting here to talk to you, to share with you. In today's video, I am going to share about how best we can survive in this bad economy. Are you in Uganda? If you are in Uganda, you must know what I'm talking about. Well, I don't think we are just being affected as Ugandans. It's somewhat like a global challenge altogether. So if you're Ugandan or whatever nation you are in, we need to survive regardless of what's going on, the inflation, the bad economies and everything. We must survive. And in this video, I'm just bringing to you how we must survive in a bad economy. Stick with me. So one thing that you need to do to survive in a bad economy is buying in bulk. If you're buying, especially home essentials, all those things at home, things that are long lasting, maybe soap, sugar, all those things. If you can afford, it's best you buy in bulk, in wholesale, If you've been buying just small things, be sure that those things are going to get done so easily, and then you again go to the shop to buy, and who knows, you could find that the price has tripled by maybe 3 and you'll be shocked. But if you buy in bulk, trust me, you're saving money, one, and then you're also reducing the cost of transport to buy and back home. Then you're also sure that you can run out of money, but at least you have food at home, you have those essentials at home. So that is one way you can actually survive in this economy. The second thing you can do, in Uganda, at least we are sure and lucky that we have safe border and all these other, borders that are available. So one of the other way you can actually survive in this economy is opting for cashless safe border. I don't know if you guys actually use safe border. Me, I do, and I save a lot with that, because when you use a normal border, you're going to almost pay, let's say, 10,000 for, depending on what distance. My distance is usually 10,000, 11,000. But when I use cashless, most times I'm paying half the price. Do you know how much I'm saving? So you too can actually opt for that. Use cashless safe border. It's having like really good discounts on some days, and in that way you'll be able to save some money, which can actually help you do something else. Another thing you can do to survive in this economy, for people that are coupled up, or maybe you have a friend that has a car and you guys literally live in the neighborhood, like in the same vicinity. One other way you can survive in this economy is sharing the car. Like, you use one car. For crying out loud, you are a couple coming from the same home. Well, luckily enough, both of you have cars. But in this economy where fuel prices are skyrocketing every single day, it's best that you guys can, okay, if at all things are not so safe for you economically, which I think is the case for most people, you can opt to use one car. You just, go home, go to work together, in the evening hook up, come back home together. You are saving fuel in that way. If you have a friend staying in the neighborhood and you guys somehow work almost close to the same places, you can opt to use that person's car instead of, if they are willing to do that, maybe you can actually opt to pay them less price, like less amount you would be paying when you're using public means. Now, talking about driving, another way you can survive in this bad economy if you have a car is to do less driving. You can actually decide to use public means, which is okay. But then, if you're to drive, you drive when you must. Like when it's inevitable, probably you're going to a very long distance, like you're going to a very far place, and then also maybe you are going to a place you're sure using a border will be very inconvenient or maybe not safe enough. That is okay. So you can limit your driving here and there. If it's just a short distance, use a judge, or maybe use a taxi, or even walk. Why not? Another thing that you can do in this economy is to track your finances. Just get to know where every single coin is going. Like, what am I using my money for, or where is my money going? Previously, when the economy wasn't this bad, really, sometimes you just, spend aimlessly. You go to maybe a bar, or you go to a supermarket, and you're buying all these things that are not even necessary. You don't even know where you're putting your money. But in this economy, it's best that you get to know where you are putting every single coin of yours, because then it will help you also budget best. Know what are my needs, what are my wants, things that I can live without, and all that. So that if you've been spending most of your money on your wants, then you just cut that, right? If you've been spending much money on your needs, then you're safe. And then also you can regulate how much you're spending and everything. But in case you don't do that, the economy is going to be so harsh on you, because all your monies are just, flying and going out to things you don't even know about. Another thing that you can do to survive is to eat in, like eat at home. You guys, there is food at home, but then people usually opt to eat like at restaurants or what. If you're staying alone, it's understandable. Cooking might be expensive, by the way, because you need so much to actually prepare the food. But if you're staying with other people, like you're in a home setting, you guys have a family and everything, it's best you eat home. Because if you go to a restaurant, you're spending 100,000 or even 200 or 3 or 500,000, for crying out loud. That can do like a whole week's shopping, So it's best you eat at home. And then even if you stay alone, you can decide to just, eat at home maybe for like 3 days or 4 days a week. Then the other times you eat out. So regulate your eating out, sessions or times. Another thing, actually, you can also reduce the number of meals in a day. While at campus, we actually survived on one meal sometimes. And sometimes we'd even go a day without a meal for real. Like you just take tea and a bun or maybe something, and you are actually okay. So this economy, surely, you can still survive on having one meal a day or two. But also you need to know which meals are most important. It's usually breakfast and lunch. So you ensure that you are at least taking a heavy breakfast, and maybe you can skip your lunch and then take lunch like towards the end, so that you're saving for dinner. Like you don't have dinner, and then that money can be used for another day and all that. You guys, I hope you can relate when I'm speaking, because you don't want to be the person who affords all these things and you're like, where would I eat once or twice a day? No, then you're not relating. I'm talking to people who are actually struggling, like they're finding it very hard to survive in this economy. You get it? So if you're in that category, it's okay. You are actually not alone, but you can actually survive. These things are going to come out. We shall come out as victors, but before we actually do, we need to know how to go about everything, right? Yes. Then also, you can decide to do more of online meetings. If you're going to meet as a group somewhere, and it's not like so vital for you guys to meet physically, it's best you organize online meetings. These days there is Google Meet, there is WhatsApp video calls, there are so many avenues for you to have a meeting, not exactly meeting in person. Because when you meet in person, you guys, the fuel, everyone knows how the fuel prices have gone up, and you will definitely be spending. But if you stay home or wherever you are and just do an online meeting, that is going to save you a great deal of money. Also, you need to try as much as possible to spend your weekends at home. You guys, every time in Uganda, we call it oksimbula. Every time you oksimbula over the weekend, just know those are thousands and thousands of money, which is okay. You can decide in a month to have some weekends out, but not every single weekend that you're moving out. So when you stay in over the weekends, maybe you can watch movies or do all these other indoor games and things that interest you and things that are going to keep your weekend, fun and not boring, right? But going out every single weekend, you are spending money, which money you're going to probably regret during the week when you're finding it very hard to survive and find lunch, okay? So it's better try to regulate your blaring as well. Another thing is to find alternative cheap products, like where can I get something more cheaply than I was actually getting it. One of the ways is to opt for wholesale shops instead of retail shops. Instead of going to these retail shops, you just go to wholesalers. Wholesalers usually have a subsidized, like the price is really less. If maybe a kilo of sugar is 10,000 in a retail shop, in a wholesale shop, you might find maybe 1,000 less or 500 or even 2,000 less. And that is saving, right? So you can opt for such, cheaper options. Also, you can decide to shop from markets, akatare, like these markets that have groceries like fruits and everything, instead of going to supermarkets. You can find an orange, actually let's say an apple. You can find an apple at 1,000 shillings in the market, like a Katare. But when you go to the supermarket, sweetheart, you're going to find when that apple is like 2,000. Imagine. So when you shop from these public markets, you are most probably going to save a lot of money than buying in a supermarket where prices are quite high. Also, something else you can do to survive in this bad economy is prioritizing and also attending planned plots. If you have, I know, people ask you, Oliwa, where are you? Olinkai. My dear, do not just run and go to attend these things. Have you planned for it? Have you budgeted for it? Do you know how expensive that place you're going to is? Do you know how much you get? Like, you need to plan these things. Don't just go for random plots. Don't just go out for, prioritize. If someone has called you maybe for a birthday party and another one has called you for a baby shower, who of these people actually deserves your time or even your money? And maybe if you're having a certain party somewhere and another party somewhere, which one should you attend? Like, this is a time for us to play the priority game. You cannot just go for anything and everything at the same time. Also, if you attend those plots, you need to go when you have a budget in your mind. You're like, today I'm not taking tequilas, or today I'm just taking beers, or today I'm taking soft drinks. Like, you need to prioritize and also plan and budget for those plots. Don't just go like that. You'll find yourself spending your entire salary in one day, yet you could have actually spent it in a month. By the way, another thing you can also do is instead of meeting out with your friends, maybe if you have, let's say, a reunion party, or you have maybe a birthday party or something, instead of hosting those events outside, like in hotels and restaurants, another cheap way you can opt for is hosting them at home. You guys, it's cheaper. I know it is daunting, like so much work and everything, but you can actually try to, opt for different things, snacks, simple things. Stay within the budget, but still have fun and celebrate whatever you're celebrating. Because it's really more expensive going to a hotel or a restaurant to celebrate these things. Yet you could save much more at home. We are just thinking about this economy thing, not like forever we shall be hosting these events in our homes. No, but it's really cheaper and to help you survive and save more money for the next day. Another thing that you can do in this economy is to budget and stick to your budget. If you're the kind that makes these monthly budgets, this month of maybe August or September or whatever, October, I am meant to be spending this much on this much on this much. Stick to your budget, right? Stick to your budget. If you're the kind that loves to buy clothes, bags and everything, you need to reduce on your budget because you already have enough clothes and shoes and bags and all those things that you want actually. So stick to your budget for the month, for the day, for the week. If you go to a supermarket and you've made a shopping list, like these are things I'm going to buy, stick to those things. Don't reach then you're like, oh, by the way, I actually needed these things, yet you don't need them. So stick to your budget, stick to your shopping list, stick to those things that you've set aside and the plans that you have, stick to them. Also, you guys, this one is very tempting. Mobile banking. I know, yes, we are in a technology advanced world and everything, but this one is not really favorable to us in this economy. You just go somewhere like, do you have a Visa machine? Or you're out of money and you're like, where is the nearest mobile money? Like, all the time you want to withdraw money from your bank account and everything. Try as much as possible to stay away from mobile banking for this time. Yes, you can use it while banking, while depositing money, but to withdraw, is it really necessary for you to do that? Okay, maybe for some people, having cash on them is actually more tempting to spend it, but this is a time that we have to train ourselves to avoid spending as much as possible. But I know it's easier for you to spend money that you have on your card than it is to even spend. Sometimes the cash is out, but when you're out of cash, I have the card on me. So it's best you actually, try to avoid using your cash that is in the bank, like the money that's in the bank. Try to avoid it because you're going to have your balance checked and you get shocked. Another thing that you can do is to park your car. For people that have cars, really, if you know that it's becoming a burden to you in a way, it's okay to park it. For now, it's okay. No one is going to laugh at you. Us who are laughing at you, are we the ones paying the fuel? No. So it's okay. You can park your car. You're like, sweetheart, baby, just be parked for the meantime. I'll be using you over the weekends, or I'll use you maybe on Tuesday. And like, it's okay to park that car, because the fuel is really high. If everything fails, then best you park the car, use it when you must, or even not use it until things get better. It's okay. And maybe you can decide to work from home. There are people whose jobs are really so flexible, like you don't need to move out of home to work. So if your job is that kind, don't be like, no, I have to move out of home, because staying home, it's time to stay home and work. It's okay. And also, there are some other hacks that you can do to save your money. On like bills, electricity bills, water bills, all those bills. There is a way you can actually play about with your household to save those bills. One way is, instead of you boiling water every single time, maybe for showering if you don't have a water heater, or even, not using the water heater, or you're the kind that loves to take hot water, tea, coffee, all those things, it's best you get flasks and keep the water in those flasks, because it will be hot all the time, right? Instead of you, every time you're boiling water, and percolators will take like the most, like they have high consumption of power, right? So you can save that by getting flasks. You can also save the water. If you're the kind that showers, I don't know how many liters of water in one shower, you can reduce that. Even when you're washing your utensils, get different hacks to reduce on your bills. I think for me that's it. I don't know. You guys feel free to comment in this commentary of mine. Tell us, how are you surviving in this economy, or what tips are you using? How have you adjusted in this economy to survive? Thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe, and it's always a pleasure. Bye-bye.